All right, Colin, you want to hit us with a quick rap to...
No, I'm good.
Okay. Welcome back to the Nightshift. We're going to crack open, the usual cult classics, the sleepers, the certified bangers, find out why they still hit. I'm Shane Hall, joined by my brothers, Griffin and Colin, tonight. The Nightshift is clocking in. We're heading back to high school, gentlemen. But not really the one that we remember. Maybe you guys have a little bit of taste of what we experience in this movie. This is a high school run by some eco-conscious cool kids, some drama club alphas, deeply ironic code of conduct. We're breaking down 21 Jump Street, a movie that came out in 2012, and it's probably one of the best freaking reboots that I've seen ever? Dare I say?
I think dare you because I don't think you ever saw the original prior to this.
No, never saw the original show. They never made a movie out of it. But think of reboots. I mean, I'm not going to count like the superhero stuff, but any kind of show that's been converted into a movie, like a Miami Vice or something like that, a Dukes of Hazzard even, like it could be fun, but shitty. This movie's freaking great for several reasons, and we're going to get into it. I don't really know that it had any right to be this good, guys, but Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum go undercover in one of the most absurd ways possible, and they fucking nail it, especially Channing. He did not want to do this role. He turned it down a couple of times, believe it or not. Finally, Jonah Hill convinced him. He didn't think he would be funny at all. And that was the big surprise of this one for me, was how fucking funny Channing Tatum is. Because you got to remember, at this time, like, he was doing not even rom-coms. It was romance, like freaking Nicholas Spark, Nora Roberts movies, and Step Up, because he's a fucking dancer. This is
No Magic Mike?
No Magic Mike yet, I don't think. I don't think that was out. Well, let me do a quick...
That was a reboot. I'm kidding.
Let's see, Magic Mike. Griff, when's the first time you saw this movie?
I think it came out when I was in high school? What year was this?
This movie came out in 2012. Magic Mike also came out in 2012.
Griff was a freshman.
Damn, son.
So this came out at a good time for me.
Yeah, dude, you were Jonah Hill.
I mean, I may have come off as a lady killer.
I know.
But this, it was crazy, though. I don't know. Because going from, I think this was my freshman year of high school. So it was going from, a public school. I was in public school. So kind of seeing more of, the Channing Tatum, side of, how people go about their day in school and everyday life. And then going to private school, it's like that total switch of the wake up for Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. When they get there the second time, they're like, whoa, high school is different. The cool kids are not cool.
Yeah.
It's completely flipped around. But that's kind of a little bit of what it was like. I'm sure.
I remember you liked it.
Well, yeah, it fit me a little bit.
They were like, are you safe? Is this a safe place? Griffin's like, wow, these guys are legit cool guys.
I'm like, they get it, dude.
They get it. The other guys are dicks. Which is true. They were dicks.
Man. Well, this movie, it's the opening scene gets me just about every time. So Jonah Hill pitches this movie in 2008, determined not to make this traditional reboot, and wanted to take a lot of the details of 21 Jump Street, pay homage to it and all that stuff, but also make it awesome and funny and all this other shit. And that opening fucking scene Slim Shady dropping.
Yeah.
You see the bleach blonde hair, Jonah Hill, walking through the doors of school with the chain necklace, the white tee, the Jinko jeans on,
Yeah.
and the braces. I was like, oh my God, dude, I know that kid. I saw that kid in school. That was the high school that I remember. So it was freaking hysterical to see it because, I grew up during that time when they're basing their high school time frame off of. So,
And they did that so well. And like back then too, like people used to like actually wear like their Letterman jackets and stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
And Tatum's that, and just like the whole nostalgia to it. It's so different. And it's like it really is like these clashes of eras and like showing how different they are. But I think it's perfect. It's the three of us here because we all experienced one of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, man. It's like the shit that you would say in, let's say, 2003 would be different than what the kids would be saying in 2012, I'm sure. Like he's asking the chick out to prom, who's his hot neighbor, who he knows is out of his league, but he's like mustering up the courage. And instead of being like, hey man, it's all right, Channing Tatum's watching him from behind the locker, laughing his ass off, and then she says, "Well, I mean, come on, bro, you fucking nerd." Like you would, I feel like kids today would never say that, but back in when I went to high school, that was just like commonplace. You would just rag on each other and say some cruel shit all the time.
You got told how it was.
In some ways, it's pretty funny, man, still. And in other ways, yeah, it was too far, insensitive, all that stuff. But still, every now and again, it feels like we need a little dose of reality. 2013. You want to take a guess at budget and box office?
Yes. Budget, I will go 40. And I'll go box office 560.
Wow. All right. Optimistic. Griff?
I'll go budget. I'll go 70. And box office, probably like, 500.
Well, I'm going to disappoint you guys. Budget, you guys are pretty close. Colin was closer. It was about 45 million, which
Okay.
not really a lot for an action comedy, honestly. Box office, though, 201 million worldwide. That's still a pretty damn massive return,
I thought
especially for an
it
action.
blew up, dude.
Well, it might have out after the box office because it's probably one of the last. Remember, we talked about that stretch of movies from 03 to 08 in that action drama space. Then there's this like comedy stretch that goes further, but it kind of stops at like 2012, 2013. So this is like really one of the last solid comedies before Hollywood kind of stopped making this.
This is also a huge era where where you can just like sit at home and you can order it on demand.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people stopped going into the movies.
This was like the beginning of it.
But I don't think there's any. It's that those numbers are a little surprising to me because I don't think there's anyone I know who has not seen this movie.
Yeah.
It's awesome, dude. Plus, it's funny. Like everybody loves a comedy. Everybody loves. There's some kind of attraction. Sometimes it's not great, but there's always some kind of attraction to like a teenage comedy too, because most of the viewers have been there at some point and felt the awkwardness and been through the growing pains of growing up and dealing with family shit or friend shit and all that stuff. So you can.
It's a nice common ground, but you can get like a little raunchy with the comedy too.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
you can do very embarrassing things with it. Like I don't know what I think. Like a lot of my favorite films are like that high school type or college type of movie for comedy.
17 again.
Hill does
Yes.
the other one with McLovin.
Yeah, super bad.
That one's great. So Jonah Hill 2-0 in high school movies, I'd say.
It honestly, he's got several high school movies. It's
Consider?
pretty. Oh,
I'm 3 now.
knock it off. He's got a ton, man, and he was so good. And even in this, he's great. But he's like, a fairly made man at this time. I think the first time that we saw him and remembered him as holy shit, this guy's a star is Superbad, and that was 2007, summer of 07, like, and so at that point it was like, all right, if this guy's going to be attached to a project, I'm fucking watching it. I'm going to find out what it is, and I'm going to be there. Plus, with a lot of these comedies, it's usually like the same friend groups that are in each other's movies. You know what I mean? And
like Sandler has the same guys.
Yeah, Sandler's usually got the same 5 to 10 crew guys with him, the core guys with him at all times, in his movies. And these guys, Jonah Hill does too. He's got his crew. You've got like the Danny McBride, Seth Rogen, that whole crew. Then you have Judd Apatow. Then you have like the Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn guys. Like sometimes the worlds blend together, but not that often. We get in this, the casting's pretty early on people that ended up being stars. Channing Tatum basically finds a second career in this movie and becomes a comic actor and uses all of his attributes, his athleticism and general like dopiness, I guess, and it fucking works, man. We get Brie Larson before she becomes Brie Larson that people know today. Dave Franco at this time was, boy, that guy looks a lot like a little James Franco. Now he's Dave Franco, but not at that time. And you get a Johnny Depp cameo. Johnny Depp was in the original show. Have you guys ever seen the original show?
No,
I've never seen it either. I know.
I didn't see it, but I know that it's got to be tough to, like how you were saying earlier, it's tough to do like the follow-up movies, right? And do the remake. And I did not see the early one, but from what I see in this movie, there's no way that they could have made it too much like the original, which I think is awesome. Like they did their own spin to it.
Exactly.
But like to fill the shoes of someone like Johnny Depp, like that's tough for Tatum and Jonah to do, and they crushed it.
Yeah, they crushed it, man. Depp wanted it to be a secret that he was in the movie. Like, did not want to, didn't want people to know, and had like a bunch of stipulations for his cameo in there, and all of them satisfied or whatever for him to be in it. Still, that's cool, man, to have the guys that were a part of it, because I think that was Depp's big break, was doing that show. That's how he got kind of launched into his
okay.
So I always love it when they do that. They did the same thing in Starsky and Hutch. Where they bring back the original Starsky and Hutch, and I love that kind of. That's another reboot movie that actually is pretty freaking enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but
it's good.
I like this
good.
one better.
I love Snoop Dogg in it too.
Snoop, Stiller being Stiller. You got Owen Wilson being Owen Wilson. I love all those guys. Like, I can just sit there and watch them be them. I feel the same way about Jonah Hill. He's very good at the awkward comedy. The body stuff is always funny with him, just because he's very self-aware, but pretends like he's not, with some of his comments in here. Like, Griff, you mentioned one of your favorite lines in the movie. Listen, Captain, I know we look like a couple of lady killers here, but clearly I wasn't talking to you, big titties.
I was talking to fake ass handsome McGee over here. When I'm talking to him, I'm talking to him. When I say shut the fuck up, I'm talking to you.
I'm talking to you. That's
Ice
Ice
Cube is
Cube.
perfect too. He's just a firecracker at any time, but like it kind of reminds me of like coaches in a way and stuff. And like coaching styles nowadays have changed where, it's like not so much yelling, but back then and stuff. Oh my gosh, if you the only way to get high school kids and stuff like that and college age kids to listen is to yell at them. They're just so in their own world and they've got their own mindset of like what they think is right and wrong.
Yeah,
And
they're
Cube is
cocky.
perfect to be able to do that for the Jump Street people.
Well, a lot of these, I mean, coaches too. Like you coach how you were coached 99% of the time, just because that's what you know, that's what you experience. But the cast in this is fucking great, man. They wrote that part for the captain for Ice Cube, so they got him to do it. Jonah Hill was pumped, wrote that part for him, and Ice Cube ad-libbed most of it.
I'm sure.
Improvised almost all of it, and just fucking classic Ice Cube, man. So good. I would argue his performance in the second one is better, but this movie gets a sequel for those that aren't aware. But he was awesome in this movie. You get like a taste of him. You don't get like a ton of them, but he sets the tone on the whole department, the kind of effectiveness that they're looking for, and then it just adds to the pressure of these two idiots trying to actually crack the case that they play. You've got Dakota Johnson and her partner finger popping each other's assholes.
Yeah.
That chick, they're busting up like a crime a week, it seems like. And then you have Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill just trying to relive high school and not focused at all on the crime that they're supposed to be solving. I mean, they are focused on it, but it's just fucking, that's what makes the movie great. It's just these guys being kind of reverting back to the high school age. Have you guys felt that feeling whenever you've had to go stay back at mom or dad's, or and just like as soon as you go back to their house, you get set in the old ways of, well, I'm just gonna sleep in and mom's gonna come in and wake me up, and then
way
100%.
way too comfortable.
Yeah, so you revert back to that phase of your life, that personality that you were at that phase of your life when you're back in that environment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens to these guys because they're pretty immature. But at some point in the beginning of the movie, so you get that opening scene, you get the trash can kick, fucking hysterical. I don't know who did the editing for this movie. They need a fucking Oscar. I swear to God, it was one of the best edited movies I've ever seen. Like just the cuts from one thing to the next to hit these punchlines is so good. Go back and watch it again when you get a chance and try to pay attention to that. It's just so seamless and perfect.
Dude,
What's an example?
I mean,
keep
just
your
like
attention. Like when, for example, is when they're trying to figure out the drugs and they're like, okay, it's not that hard to find. So then they text the number and he's like, all right, we've got to go now. Meet in the hallway. We'll go and run. Like the way that they cut through that scene, and then they also go through all the different like phases of the drug after they try it, and like the way that like they transition that to like nail every single part of the jokes and then like make it recurring too. I thought they did a good job with like the visualization there.
yes.
And they like made it colorful and stuff to where it was an easy watch, like easy to not get distracted or like check my phone or anything when I'm watching. Like I was actually really into it.
They also like they graduate from the police academy and they're sitting there, they're pounding each other up at the up on stage, and Channing Tatum's like, get ready for a lifetime of being badass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And immediately it flashes to them on bicycles.
Yeah.
And they're just patrolling the park and playing around at games and stuff like that in these freaking little cop bike outfits, man. It's like stuff like that throughout the movie, just one after another after another. And it's so good. It's awesome.
There's even another good one that's right after that is like they finally do make their first bust and they're like, you have the right to, and then Jonah Hill's like, suck my dick. And then he starts putting the gun in the air and then they just cut immediately to like them and the lieutenant's office. And he's like, you forgot to read them your Miranda rights. Like,
Yeah.
just an all like immediate high to like a straight drop.
That is true. It is great
It's
editing.
like every time it did that constantly, keeping you on your toes. It's just perfect, man. I love that, man. So I don't know how much research you guys did on this movie, but there's some fun little tidbits on it. Jonah lost 40 pounds for the role. I remember,
and still got called big titties.
Still got called big titties. Damn, that sucks.
Which you know really offends him.
Oh, I'm sure it does. But I don't think about it. You see him nowadays because he's pretty slim right now. Even though he's not acting as much, he's been doing jujitsu and all kinds of other shit, and he's pretty thin. He looks very artistic. I'll put it that way.
I'm sure he's flabby though.
I mean, I'm sure, but that is what it is. Back then, dude, this was a huge deal to see him skinny. This is like the first time that you saw him skinny because Superbad was like 5 years before this, and he was like a typical fat kid. He had accepted in like 2003 with Justin Long. That one, he was humongous, dude. He went from like the kid from Up down to like, your average fat guy, down to like a dad bod in this movie. I'm being generous. And then now he's like a regular dude. But that was a huge deal at the time. You guys probably don't remember that or care about that, but they knew we're going to have a lot of fucking stunts in this. You can handle like some of it, but you're going to need to lose some goddamn weight if you're going to be doing all this stuff. So he took it serious, and actually it paid off, man, because he was funny as shit because he's still not like clearly not an athlete compared to Channing Tatum. But
I'm not sure they actually do this stunt with him, but there's like one scene too. They're using all their cop perks, and they're like, all right, how can we be really cool in high school? You got to drive a sick car. And so they get this Camaro or whatever. And they're like, whatever you do, don't be revving up the engine like a bunch of teenage kids. And he's like, man, we're professionals. It's fine. Like first thing they're doing, like they're running each other over with it. But I'm sure it wasn't actually Jonah Hill that did that. But when he gets hit by the car, it's just like the total like opposites of him and Tatum in this movie, like, but they just contrast so well. It's like a real unity.
I didn't realize it before I rewatched this earlier this week, but from the time that they graduate high school to the police academy, I think it's just 5 years. Just 5 years later. So like Slim Shady, or not so Slim Shady, as Channing Tatum called him, they're 23, 24. Dude, they're fucking young. So let's say
that's why it's weird.
25.
I was gonna say that, Colin, and like watching it too, I was like, it gets a little bit weirder each time of like the Jonah Hill relationship.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's like because they actually easily could fall in love, and now you got to catch a case.
That is one thing that like bugs me about this movie, because like yes, I get it that they're fucking actors and everybody that acts is like 10 years older than what their role is for these high school movies, but it's still weird, man.
Yeah.
I thought that was so weird.
And it's weird that he like cares so much too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was like the weird part where like the focus went away from the case for a second, which it never should have. But they do a good job, and Ice Cube does a good job at the end of like kind of getting through to the audience and breaking that awkward tension of saying, all right, now we're going to go somewhere where all that stuff is like legal. You can do that. We're going to college.
Yeah.
Then it's not as bad.
When they were
Even
like,
then, that freaks me out.
It's still weird. Yeah, if they're like 23, 24.
college doesn't bother me as much.
Like
adults,
that
but
storyline, yeah. How long does the police academy take? Is it actually 4 or 5 years?
no.
No.
I think they went off to college, or community college, or whatever the hell they did, and then applied for the police academy. The police academy,
6 months.
I think, it's like 6 months.
It is.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's. It's not years.
Yeah, if we got some clarity on what their age was in this movie, that would be a nice detail to have.
Well,
Because they don't make it clear ever.
one of my favorite quotes is Dave Franco freaking out on Channing Tatum at one point. And, look at you. You look a fucking 40-year-old man. And it just cracks me up. 'Cause in real life, they're only like, I think he's only like 5 years older than Dave Franco. But he just, that cracked me up, man. Film was shot in New Orleans, which I thought was interesting. I would not have guessed that from any of the scenes.
Never. I would have never guessed it. Gone to my head.
Just dressed up as generic suburban America. So that's kind of cool. The drug trip sequence, Griff, that you had mentioned, that was improvised. The directors just let them go. I think they watched the video of the kid and they're like, all right, so phase 1, here's what you got to do. Phase 2, here's what you got to do. And then they just let them riff. And that was fucking hysterical. Dude, my wife and I crack up watching this movie, especially with Jonah Hill and him getting mixed up. They mix up their own fucking names, entities, so they end up doing the thing that they're not supposed to be doing. So Jonah Hill's fat ass is out on the track. And he's tripping balls on this HFS stuff that he's trying to get out of the school. And he's got a baton. He's at a track meet, and his track coach is like, give me that baton. And Jonah Hill's just got it pressed right at his crotch. And so he's like, God damn it, it's a baton penis.
What's that, Rob Riggle?
Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle, yeah. Just a bunch of stupid shit like that they're doing throughout. It's just all improvised. Fucking hysterical, man. Love that shit.
Yeah, he
He's the
starts
best,
hitting all
dude.
the other opponents, and then afterwards they're like, that's how he gets in with the cool kids, though. It's like he does that, and then they're like, organized sports are so lame.
Yeah.
Hang
They're
out
so fascist, bro. I will say these high school kids are before their time because I don't remember being around high school kids at that time. Maybe they were overly liberal, but I could totally see kids in like 2019, 2020 doing all the same stuff that they're doing now. So that part's aged pretty damn well.
But like it's aged perfectly. It's actually aged so well. Like the main like cool kid being like not this athlete, and he's just like somewhat attractive, definitely wealthy, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to Berkeley in the fall.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that's so nowadays.
Dude, his voice. Berkeley.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric, you're so lucky your parents don't care about you at all. Just let you do it.
Speaking of parents caring, I thought Jonah Hill had another fantastic line when they finally get to his house and they're like, "Oh, what's up, my undercover Schmitty?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Doug McQuaid." And then he's like, Mom, what is it with the wall? It looks like I died in a car accident and you haven't gotten over your baby pictures of him and stuff. And then there's a medal on the wall too for like participation in soccer.
Like 6
and he's like, yeah, that's literally a medal for sucking. And the dad's like, no, that's a medal for trying, and you were always a great trier.
And my boy was a trier. The parents are great, man.
Yeah.
They really come in and light it up and help set the scene for how fucking awkward it is to go back home after you've had a little bit of independence. It was perfect, man. Oh, God. We can take a quick break. Gentlemen, we are back. We are on the line. All right, we're on the line. One of the themes that pops up in this that is particularly amusing is Channing Tatum's character going through a transition. He went from being the coolest fucking guy,
Yeah.
but a loser, to now uncool and a nerd. While Jonah Hill's character is the opposite of that. He was on he was on the juggling squad. He was a virgin in high school. He was the nerd. And then Channing Tatum, I assume, was athletic because he was rocking a Letterman jacket in the first scene. But clearly cool and kind of a fuck up. So that was a fun little thing throughout the movie. And Tatum making friends with the little nerd kids that are in the chemistry lab. I always find that enjoyable when the jocks end up.
It's so funny. Like,
It's
the
great.
whole way of how they mixed up the names because he was so stubborn to be like, I'm Brad. Because, like, you look at the two of them and you're like, yeah, no. Channing Tatum looks way more like a Brad than a Doug.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, honestly, that's on Ice Cube for messing
Yeah.
that up. And then as he's, like, going to make friends and stuff, he's got that teacher hitting on him the whole time and stuff. It's just so funny. No one in that class is, like, remotely like a stud like him, you know.
Yeah.
So she's flustered by everything he does. And
Who
then,
is that actress?
She's fucking Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh yeah.
Ellie Kimmer, maybe.
Whatever, Griff, keep going.
But and everything that he does too to lead up to like making friends with them is so funny because he's so stubborn. He's like, I don't need to learn from you. I know everything. I know everything. He's like, but what do they say about like some chemistry question?
What do they say about covalent bonds where you are?
Covalent bonds.
Yeah.
But dude, he's so funny, and this really goes, fuck, I got app chemistry. He goes, God damn it, it's AP chemistry. How did you get stuck with that? I don't know how you're gonna do that. He goes, is that the one with the triangles? He plays dumb so well.
He's like, I'm so fine. It's only a couple weeks. He's like, it's not going to be fine because you can't even pronounce the name of the class.
So good, man. Their chemistry throughout this is fucking fabulous.
Who does he have bad chemistry with? Jonah Hill literally hasn't had a bad movie. He's the king.
I think the only person that he doesn't like is...
He loves to do his Scorsese movie.
Oh, he doesn't like Jay.
He doesn't like Jay Baruchel.
Just like from the movie he was in, The Last of Us.
Yeah, or This Is the End.
This is the end.
He hates this. LaCroix getting some free advertising for this.
Spindrift.
Pre-Sean.
We don't have a GoFundMe or anything like that, but if you do want to sponsor,
we would love to have you guys as a sponsor for real, though.
Wow. I mean, let's talk.
We could get you guys some fucking recognition.
I'll tell you what, we could say your name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, we'll put you on T-shirts.
That is true. That is true. We'll put you on T-shirts. That's for sure. Anyways, I enjoyed many of the arcs of this movie. We talked about the moving back home thing. we talked about these two having basically role reversals going back to high school. Is there another theme throughout this that resonated with you? Would it be, for me personally, I think it was the best friend relationship and how you can be super tight with someone and have a falling out because either one of you is losing yourself for whatever reason.
Yeah,
You're
girl.
getting tempted. It's a girl, it's something. And you fight, but ultimately the love that you have for one another wins out, and boom, all is right. But I don't think you've had a true friendship unless you have had a moment like that where it's like, I don't know that we could be friends anymore.
Yeah, like I have one with Kennedy where it was weird for a sec when I got hurt. He's playing on varsity, and it's like, and I'm just watching and dapping him up, but inside I'm like dying. But it was still like, it did make us stronger because I think with anything, you need a little break, like an issue that comes up to test you. And it doesn't stand true with all relationships, but when it does, they're there to stick. And that wasn't even like a hard one, but it was still like a test. Are you going to be a jealous douche, or are you going to feel happy for him?
That's a good way to, shape it as testing you. Do you care more about your friend and their happiness?
Yeah.
Or do you care more about your own?
Or are you a narcissist?
And it's always like a moral dilemma, and you're like moral compass, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what the right thing is to do,
Yeah.
and how to act, and it's like you can make it work if you want to. So,
yeah. The devil on your shoulder says
Like,
be jealous
cheers.
and just say you suck.
which like it's like natural to have that
Yeah.
feeling at first of like frustration and like bitterness towards it, because it's only natural to have like
Yeah.
that bit
Or-
of like jealousy in a way of like like I was right there, like why isn't this me? It's
Why
easy
is
to
that
have
me?
that.
It's happened with girls a bunch too,
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it.
where it's like, damn, I thought what? Or he's like, yeah, we're dating, and you're like, oh,
Oh, damn.
really?
There are
Damn.
a lot of things that can test relationships, and I think the strength of a relationship is how you go about getting through those things. And like most movies, it has a happy ending. It's great. They fucking get their guy. They win the case. It's this movie's a blend of the teen comedy, a buddy cop movie, two genres that, like I said, everybody fucking loves those genres. And on top of it, it's a reboot of a really popular show from American Pastime.
Oh, I got another one that's similar to this.
Go ahead.
Chips. I think that was a reboot.
That is a reboot of a show that was super popular. I never watched Chips, so
Oh, Dax Shepard, dude. He's the best.
I'm a fan of his. He's quite funny.
He's the best cop of all time, and he has really bad knees. He has bad knees because
That
he
movie
was a
is
stud.
hilarious.
I'll have to check it out.
It's new on. It just premiered on Prime again.
Okay.
I mean, dude, you will
5 years ago?
die. No, it came out like 10.
Okay.
You'll die.
It's really
Shane.
good. I liked that movie.
And that Mexican guy, I forget his name.
Yeah, he's he's
Michael Pena?
always he's also the
Yes.
cop that's in the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal too.
Yeah,
right?
End of Watch.
Yeah, that's Pena. Pena's had a freaking run the last 10 years, man.
Oh
15.
my God, dude. He's loaded.
He's been on it, man.
He's also in Colin and I's. We think it's like maybe the worst movie, but best movie ever. with
Christian
him and
Bale's best movie.
Bale. Do you remember what the title of that one is?
No,
Fighter.
I don't give a fuck. Let's get fucked up.
I just want. Let's get.
What movie are you talking
Dude,
about?
Shane, you gotta watch this. Christian Bale is a guy looking for a job, and he's always wanted to be a cop, but he loves doing crack and shit. And
Yeah.
Pena's his
He
best
like
friend.
keeps telling everybody he's not on it, but he like can't.
Griff,
help
find that movie now. It's the best movie ever. Griff and I kept watching it because he's trying out for the force, and he like Pena's the good friend that's like trying to get him to get back on track, and he's got a family and everything. And he's like, "Come on, dude, I'll take you to your interview." And he does an interview, and then right after the interview, he like goes to some like druggie's house, and he's like getting high, and then Pena picks him up, and he's like, Christian Bale's like, "I just don't give a fuck anymore. You know, we're gonna kick it back like we used to. Let's get fucked up." And then they get fucked up, and they go to Mexico, and
What is this
he
movie?
falls in love with this Mexican
It's a
chick.
really sad
Dude,
ending
Shane,
too.
Saying he falls in love with this Mexican chick, and she only speaks Spanish, so Bale starts speaking Spanish, and then they have a kid.
It's called Harsh Times. It's called Harsh Times, and it
Yeah.
really are some hard times, man.
I'll be honest with you guys. I am not watching
The
it.
whole movie, the whole movie is just one hard time.
Dude, it's Bale,
It
Shane.
sounds like it's going to be too hard of a time for me.
It's Bale, bro.
I love
Dude.
Bale, dude. I
Dude, they
do.
pull up to a light, and some guy's looking at Bale, and he's like, "What the fuck are you looking at, motherfucker? You want me to get?" It's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
his temper in it is
He
insane.
has the craziest temper.
Bale's a psycho, man. He really is. I was watching. God, there's another movie he's in recently where he just was an angry asshole. Ford Ferrari movie.
I didn't watch
I
it.
watched it. Yeah,
Him
yeah.
and Matt Damon. Yeah, he could do anything, dude. He could do anything.
I'm
I don't know
excited
if
for
he can do
him.
Channing Tatum as well as Channing
He's the
Tatum.
driver, right? And he works on the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm excited for him to be in the new John Madden as Al Davis.
Really?
Yeah, he's gonna do great. You know
Shane, he
he's
looks
gonna-
amazing in it.
Oh man, I gotta check that out then. Is there a trailer out?
I
No,
don't
but
think
there's
a trailer yet.
pictures of him, and he looks just fucking like Al Davis.
Oh wow. Doesn't shock me at all, man. He's one of the best there is at this.
He's no
Speaking
Daniel
of
Day-Lewis,
which,
but
Easy on the DDL.
I listened to the Dark Knight podcast on here, and I just want to say there was a clip that went on TikTok, and some guy was like, "Bale probably the worst Batman actor," and I was like, "Dude, are you watching like with your eyeballs? Like, he is by far the best Batman." He was like, "Not even close to half of what the actor of Ben Affleck or Robert Pattinson are." I'm like, both those Batman movies of those two were snooze fests.
I never even watched them.
No, I tried to watch them. I fell
Don't
asleep.
say that in front of Kennedy. Kennedy's gonna have a heart attack. He really likes that Pattinson.
No, he doesn't.
He either that or he likes getting a rise out of me because every time he's on there, he's talking about, you know what, Pattinson was pretty good.
Yeah, he does say Pattinson.
Pretty good.
If you like Pattinson, it's like it's almost like Shane Gillis's enactment of like a gothic Australian. It's like you can't be you can't like Robert Pattinson
I don't think so.
as a Batman type actor. It just doesn't fit.
It would be like them trying to sell me on Jordan, or what's the guy's name? Colin, we just talked about him on the last podcast. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Jordan Michael Hewitt.
Stop it. Yes, that's him.
I think it's Joseph
It'd be
Gordon-Levitt.
like trying to make him Batman. Like, what are we doing, dude?
Griff, we talked about Don John on the last podcast,
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
but no
flick.
one saw it, Griff, besides you and me.
Really.
Yeah, no one's seen that movie.
Wow, that movie
I
is
know what
like
you're talking about. I
pretty
know.
much my life.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. All right, gentlemen.
What's
let's
his
get
real
back
name?
on
Michael
track.
Gordon-Levitt Joseph?
Okay. Enough with Joseph.
What's his name?
I don't know. No one knows. There's too many names. He's got too many names. That's the problem.
Love Hewitt. Jordan
No,
Gordon
that's
loves
a
Hewitt.
girl.
Jordan loves you. Guys, it's award time. Award and superlative season. Who's your MVP for this? I know who mine is. I can go first or I can go last.
I'll go first. Dave Franco.
Really? All right. Elaborate.
He's a great villain. Without him,
Yes.
there is no contrast for any of the actors to really. He's like the king of the alternate universe they're not used to. That totally contrasts with their memory of what high school is. He's without him, they're just back in normal high school.
I think you make a good point. His character is so important, and it's
Yeah.
like he keeps giving you the different unexpected elements. Like when you're first watching, you're like, "There's no way that that kid is like the main drug dealer at the school. There's no way that that kid is the popular kid." Oh, and now that this kid has like all this money too, and he's just, and then he gets you to the finish line and the climax at the end, and he's funny all the way through it too at the same time. He really does do a great job. I like that pick.
And he has some pretty good self awareness throughout the movie too. When he takes Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill away and just get in the car and takes them to go shoot guns because he's worried about people coming after them. So he wants to see how they could shoot and if they could protect them. He says, "I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. Do you know what they would do to a handsome guy like me in jail?
Yeah,
Rhymes with grape."
yeah.
And it's like, dude, he knows he knows his character.
Yeah.
Oh,
knows
dude,
his
that
character.
same part too. Shane, he does something so funny where when he's like, "Oh, I thought you guys were narcs, and then I saw what you guys did at that school play, and I thought there's no way you guys could be
No
caught
shit.
and some guns."
It was so perfect. And I just looked at you like, perfect. Oh my god, it was so good. Griff, who's your MVP?
um, MVP, I'd probably have to go with Tatum because he kind of keeps Jonah Hill's like ego in check towards the end. But he does a great job of like filling into something that he's not. Whereas like Jonah Hill was more like fitting in; it was more of a comfortable fit for him. Whereas as a character, he had to like kind of change who he was and his identity, and like I don't know, he went from this old school traditional jock to now he's like in with the nerds and like blowing
Yeah.
stuff up with them, doing wiretaps, and like he's actually doing smart things for the case. Like his character development, I think, was so great. And then it comes in at the end, and I don't know, he was always the one too. Like Schmidt would always like hold the gun and be like afraid to pull the trigger and stuff. And then by the end, he's like, "You got it," and he takes the bullet for him too. Like everything he does, I'm like, he just kept stacking up W's for me.
Exactly. He's about that action. So he's also my choice for MVP. And I think some of it has to do with expectation because I've seen Jonah Hill be funny. I hadn't, to this point, seen Channing Tatum be funny ever. And it was awesome. So, like, the whole time I'm watching the movie, it's getting better and better because it's like, it's more occurrences of an unexpected thing. And now I'm getting more used to him being funny. And now I'm catching on to things that he's doing and saying that are like, that's very clever for him, or very quick witted and stuff like that for a character that's not supposed to be very quick witted.
Good boy.
Great, man. It's
But like to go from like the first day of coming up to school, he's like, "Now you one strap it. Someone talks shit, you punch him right in the face." He goes from that and to just being like a total nerd doing like the smart right things by the end. It's like I thought his like development and how funny he was with it.
yes.
Great the whole time.
He was great, man. I loved him in this. He's my MVP for it. What's the best line from the movie?
Griff said mine already. It was the car accident one.
Say it again.
When Jonah Hill comes home and he's like, "Mom, what are all these pictures? It looks like I died in a car accident."
That one is good. I like I think Shane, you said this one, but like it was just so iconic at the time when it came out was we just solved another case. Meanwhile, you two idiots are thinking popping each other's assholes.
That was like everybody said that and they still say it to this day. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I said it last week.
It's just funny, man. It really is. There's a bunch of stuff that I would say all the time. Ja Feel is one.
Yeah.
Would say that all the time. I had never heard that in my life before this movie, and it's just Jonah Hill being Jonah Hill, and it just cracks me up. So I say Ja Feel, even right now to this day, still say it. Ice Cube's got some great stuff in here. But I don't know. I would say my best line in it is not. It's a memorable line for me, but not the best line of the movie. I'll put it that way. Scene stealer, unless you guys have best lines. All right, Griff.
No, I'm good on best lines. Scene stealer, I thought who did a really good job were both of the sit downs where it's Jonah and Channing. They're sitting down. So the first one is with the guy from Parks and Rec, right? And he's like their captain that sends him down to 21 Jump Street, but the whole time he's just owning them. Like they're in such a powerless position that like he just controls the whole room. He does a great job. And then I'd say a second one that's like right up there with it is the guy from New Girl, and he's the principal of the school. And he kind of owns that scene. He's like, some kid just died the other day. I'm not going to do anything about it. Like he's like, this school year's almost over, cop.
He was good, man. He was good. There's a couple of candidates for this one. I also have on my list of candidates for this the gigantic white biker.
Oh, yeah.
Because he first off is humongous, so very memorable. Runs over Jonah Hill in the first chase scene, and then Jonah Hill later on in the movie rams into the back of him, starts this entire fight and chase with the biker gang, and the guy's just beating the hood of the car and starts yelling at Jonah Hill, and Jonah Hill's like screaming, and he's like, "What the fuck are you supposed to be, the Keebler Elf?" Because he's dressed up like Peter Pan.
Yeah.
It's just there's a whole bunch of shit like that that's just really fucking timely and funny. You got
That reminds me too of the Peter Pan costume when they're both sitting in the car and they're trying to hide, and Channing Tatum's like, act like your mommy. He's like, why do I have to be blowing you? He's like, because you're wearing a fucking Peter Pan costume.
Oh my god, that was so good. The drama teacher has a couple of moments that are pretty funny. I wouldn't call them scene stealing, but pretty funny. You get introduced to him, and he's like, "And one time I was doing cocaine with everyone else."
With his horse.
It's just like no one's paying attention to this guy, and he's just talking just to hear himself talk.
Off. Incredibly hilarious. Like,
Just great. And then later on in the movie, when Tatum and Hill are fighting during the play, Jonah Hill runs in. He's late. They just got done chasing the fucking bad guys and getting away from them back at the school. He runs in. He runs on the stage, pushes the other Peter off, goes, "Thanks, I got it from here." And they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And the other Peter, who filled in for him, runs over to the side to the teacher, and he's like, "What's going on?" He goes, I have no idea, but it's already more exciting. Always shitting on the guy that actually wants to play Peter Pan.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's fucking hysterical in this movie. There's just so many little tropes throughout it. And then you have Rob Riggle.
The best.
Rob Riggle is ultimate Rob Riggle in this movie. He's got a couple of he's coming in with a couple of heaters in there at the play, shouting out principal sucks.
Oh, good.
You got him stopping them in the hallway when they were first tripping on the drugs, him trying to get the baton penis, him finally, you get to the ending where you can see that he's the one behind it all. He might be my scene stealer because every time he's on the camera, it's a big deal in this movie. So I think I'm going to nominate. Could also be Franco.
When he gets shot at the end, too.
Oh, my God, dude.
That's great.
Fantastic.
I still also love when, like, I think that's, like, the first time where they really realized that they messed up their personalities or their, like, IDs, right?
Yes.
And he's like, wait, you're Doug McQuaid? You're the track star? And you're
just looking at him like, okay.
You're Allstate?
Yes.
Put your tongue in your mouth.
Well, put your tongue back in your mouth. Well, that might be part of the funniest scene. So what's your funniest scene in this movie? It's got a ton of them. For me, it's the drug trip scene. Going through the stages, the giggles, tripping. By the time it's over, just passed out on the track. It's great, man. That's great cinema. Love a montage, and that one was epic.
I think my favorite scene is when they first pull up to high school together, and he's like, everybody's two-strapping it. Everybody's two-strapping it. I'm going to two-strap. And then they're like, oh, what are those? Those are nerds. Those are, I don't know what those are.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the heck, Glee? And then they have then they finally meet like the like cool kids area and whatever, and then they get in like a big fight and stuff the first day. I think that whole scene and stuff is perfect too. Oh, and I forgot, like when they first start up is like, where are they going to park? And he's like, park in the handicap. Awesome.
Yeah. That whole dialogue is pretty great because he's pulling up, parks in the handicap because they think it's going to make him cool. And then it's a big-ass muscle car. And Channing Tatum's like, they walk over to the cool kids and they're like, smells like egg rolls. He goes, damn right, man. This thing runs on diesel fried oil from the old Hunan, whatever.
Hunan Palace, yeah.
Cool. He goes, wow.
What's that thing good? Like 7?
Yeah. How many miles a gallon you get on that thing? He goes, like 10? He goes, nah, like 7. I still use that all the time too. Yeah. That one's just fucking great, man. Nah, like 7.
Then he's like, look at him. He's trying. What a nerd. He goes, I got to study for a test. Sorry, what's that?
Yeah. And then, but everything flips so quickly too. And that's like a very, this is like the beginning of like I'll call it victimhood. I don't want anybody to take offense to it.
Oh my God, all the victims are taking offense.
This is, you know what I mean. But this is like the beginning of that, where he hits him and he falls down because this is the advice that he's given Jonah Hill. Like, this is what you got to do on day one. Somebody steps here, you fucking knock him out. Then he goes, man, turn that gay ass music off. And they're like, whoa, you hit me because I'm gay? He goes, what? And they're both like, oh shit. No. No. He goes, no, I didn't hit you because you're gay. I didn't even know you were gay. I hit you and then you turned out to be gay. I was gay before you hit me. And he goes, that was just like so perfect. I was like, that is absolutely how things would get construed today, even today. And it certainly was in 2012. It was probably the beginning of that time. There's some advantages to going to high school now. God, it's got to be way easier to be yourself than it used to be, but also fucking harder. I can't imagine going to high school now with social media and all the stuff. Like Facebook was just coming out when I was in high school. I mean, you weren't even allowed on it unless you were in college and or going to college. So yeah, it's a whole new world for the kids nowadays. I don't know. I'll let you guys know in a couple of years when I allow my kids to have devices. Let's see.
And there's also a funny segue too, like right after that scene, like they just cut the scene right there, and then they go to the principal's office, and he goes, "Look, guys, I'm one more black gay kid getting hit in the face away from it."
It's so true, man. But like that was Jonah Hill's point to this too. It's like a parody, but some kind of commentary on the moment. But it's aged really well, man. I'm super impressed with it.
I think it's aged so well because they like really nailed and like predicted what this like modern type of high school is going to be like, and like the dynamics of like the different social groups and how that works, and then like and they also really portrayed how it was in like the early 2000s.
100%. Do you have a favorite overacting moment? Pretty easy. Pretty well. You could call a lot of stuff overacting in a comedy. I think you, I think you mentioned it. I don't think it's overacting. I thought it was spot on, but still an over the top scene. The finale, where Jonah Hill shoots him, shoots Riggle right in the dick, and they're screaming and screaming, and looking around for his penis that was just shot off. I mean, over the top, fucking hysterical.
My overacting is the entire movie for Ice Cube.
that is the epitome of like angry black police captain.
Yeah.
He, like, when you think of that, just think of that character. He personified that character. Let's see here.
Yeah, I agree with Colin. I give it to Ice Cube because it was just so much. Not an ounce of softy in there.
It's like no one cares that much.
Do you think that what they did with this movie and the sequel is the best way to do a sequel to it?
I think so.
Do you like the sequel more?
I think the sequel has a very funny aspect of Schmidt getting with the captain's daughter. And I think that whole storyline is hilarious. But other than that, I don't know. It's different because, like, at that point, you're comparing a high school experience and a high school comedy to a college experience and a college comedy. And they're two different types of funny. They're so different. They're so different from each other. So it's hard to say. It's more of a preference. But I think the original's a little better.
There's probably a wider cast in the second one. That's usually how it goes on sequels. Just like you'll get some of the repeats from the first one, and then they're going to sprinkle in some more actors in it. So you get the chick from Workaholics, who is super funny, dude. I don't know her name, but she's great in it. I love the sequel, man. I think I might like the sequel more than the original here. It might be a little bit funnier, but this is a damn good movie, man. It really is. Is there a better title for the movie? No. I mean,
it's a redo.
It just makes sense. 22 Jump Street to just be 22. I think that was great.
I thought the script and how they wrote everything out, it all checks out and all makes sense. That was thoughtful. It wasn't like some of these movies where they just piece shit together and it doesn't make any sense. Colin, do you think your boy Walken could have been in this movie? Would you have rather him been the police
Yes,
captain?
yes, he could have been in this movie. No, he would have worked at the school.
You think so?
Or he would have been the old guy, the old big Hells Angels guy.
That could have been pretty good. What about Al Pacino?
No.
I don't think so. Only way I think a guy like Al could be in it is if it's like a cameo. De Niro, maybe. De
Yeah,
Niro,
he could have been undercover as a teacher or something.
for sure. De Niro's had a good run in comedies the last 15 years.
They could have had like, I guess, because they go to like Eric's house and whatever, and they just make the one comment like, "Oh, that's sick. Your parents don't care about you." They
Yeah.
could have played like a parent to him and could have added a whole different like dynamic
Ah,
to it. I think
that's
that
not
would
true.
have been a cool idea.
I thought the length on the movie was great. Like I could have watched a longer version of this, but I think that the pacing is great. There's not really too many low spots. Maybe a couple where where they're fighting with each other. But like for the most part, it just kind of goes and what's I don't know what the runtime is on it. It's not crazy long. Was it 90, 100 minutes?
It's like an hour 50.
Is it really? Yeah, yeah, you're right. Hour 49. Um,
I only know that because I watched it in the car on my drive to Asheville.
well, that was a good choice for a drive, though. Brie
While
Larson
driving.
while driving. Um, I feel like maybe Samuel L. Jackson could have replaced Ice Cube. Would have been the same concept.
Yeah.
I don't have any complaints on the cast. I loved it. I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun with this movie. Emma Stone was considered for the lead role.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see it. I'm glad they went with a Brie Larson instead. I remember thinking she's really cute,
Yeah.
and now fast forward to today, it's like, yeah, you think? Because
Yeah.
she's one of Hollywood's leading ladies. Um,
Oh, I
Jennifer
thought you were
Lawrence,
gonna.
I think, for that role as well.
I think it's good that they went with someone at the time who was more under the radar though, because then it like kind of blends in with that like high school cast. I don't know if you put someone that's like too well known, it's like all right, this movie's like far fetched. Like we already know. I think they did a good job of making all the high school ones like how we said it was Franco's like first like breakthrough kind of appearance. No
Yeah.
one really knew that much of him before. Same thing with Brie Larson. I thought they did a good job doing that with that group, and then they got experience in all the other spots, like the actual bigger roles.
I think
Amen.
if it was made now, it would have to be Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
But
it
then
would.
we're getting into weird waters.
It would, but then you get then the cool kids are a different type of cool kids. If it's a Sydney Sweeney that's there, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you're talking like Los Angeles private school.
Yeah, this is like L.A. or like a Southern Florida like high school, opposed to
This is okay.
this is supposed to be just like a middle of the birds type.
This is like your classic suburban high school experience.
Not a Euphoria experience.
No, dude, Euphoria. If that's how high school is, like I'm just
Sign me up.
Yeah, just sign me up.
Sign him up. Not me though. I wouldn't. I would never be a party to some of those euphorian parties. I would never do something like that. I love my family. Let's see here.
Football, then God, then country.
Football,
My football.
country.
I have an email from him still.
From us?
Yeah.
No way. Pull it up.
It's something about 7 a.m. Be there. Be sharp.
I can't believe like as high schoolers he made us wear white socks, black cleats. Like that makes all of us look incredibly slow.
Dude, I felt so cool when Wallace brought out the white bricks and I tried them on and I went, my legs don't look weird anymore. This is amazing. It does
Like black
wonders,
cleats
dude.
are actually the worst thing ever.
No, if you want zero swag and actually like your whole life to crumble in front of you, wear black cleats. Wear black shoes.
That is true. That is true. I mean,
If you want the other team to target you specifically, boy,
if you
and
want
Russ
if you want
Groden
to
said, everybody, we're all equal.
wear black cleats. That's it. Back on topic, gentlemen. Who is the Maggie Gyllenhaal weakest link of the film?
None, I can't think of any.
I'm trying to go through each of the roles in my head.
You know who I think is, I guess, a weak link? I thought he would have, like, the bad guys, right? Like the gangbanging crew.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp wasn't in his guy who were in the old 21 Jump Street. They weren't the main guys in that crew. They were more followers.
Right.
And so was the big hefty dude who had like a good scene steal or two.
Yes.
The other guy was supposed to be like the brains and stuff. I think you could have recasted him for somebody better.
Yeah.
I had a more important role in like the hard boots on the ground gang aspect. But other than that, I mean, I think every casting was kind of a hit.
Yeah. What's the coolest use of a vehicle in the movie?
Probably the parking lot.
I liked say that again?
The one where they're trying to pull out to chase after the pinata and the fucking boot is on the car because they racked up 45 parking tickets.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah. I liked when they had to use the student driver car, and like that's how they get in that accident and stuff. Is like Channing Tatum controlling from the teacher side. I thought that was pretty creative.
That whole thing was pretty awesome. I'd never seen a student teacher car scene like that before. I can't remember one in a movie where they had to steal a car like that. So I thought that was pretty clever. And
they did a couple cool ones, and one more thing too that was like funny with the cop chase. And speaking of, in the beginning we were talking about good editing, how they kept like zooming in and waiting for a big explosion, and then the big explosion happened with like the slightest of like the 4 accidents that had just
the
happened.
slightest thing. And they're like, "What the hell? That's the one that blew up." Is there a best use of product in the movie?
Acid.
I mean,
I think the play
the
with the I guess it's like a product, right? If that's what we're trying to talk, like when they're like fighting each other during the play and they're like on harnesses and like fighting. And
No, it'd be like think of it more
Capri
like
Sun.
like a Capri Sun, or like when I did the
Pop Quiznos.
Pop Quiznos.
Quiznos.
How about that? Good call. Could this movie be a TV series? Obviously, yes, we know that. Best fight scene, action scene?
At the party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he gets the thing in his back.
Does that not remind you of high school parties?
Yeah.
Where somebody comes from a rival high school?
Yes.
And it's like,
That's the only time it happens.
In here. What, player? What? What? I was like,
You're in my temple.
Oh my
That's
God.
where I come to find peace, dog.
Yeah, you're at my temple.
I'm like, every time I'm like, I want to punch this guy.
When you're coming in here metaphorically, like a bull in a china shop, messing up my temple.
You messing up my temple. That was like, that brought me back because I remember those days. And when you're in high school, you think that like, oh my God, somebody's mere presence is the end all be all. We have to fight. We have no choice. And it's so stupid. But that's how it is in high school, man. You think that everything is like forever. And, oh God.
High school is forever.
It certainly is in this movie. But this movie still holds up, man. It's something that I enjoy watching. I watch probably once every couple months, just scrolling through, seeing what's on. I think it opened the door for some like smart Sort of self-roasting reboots like Lego Batman or a Barbie or things that like we're familiar with, but it's been a while, and we need a different take on it or something like that. I don't know. I feel like I hadn't seen anything done really well prior to this. Um, Jonah Hill becomes now like fuck. He's a lot more dramatic than he is comic.
Yeah.
Now, um, and Tatum, dude, like I said, launched second career, and honestly, like maybe a third because
Dude,
he's like a bona fide action comic star now. Like he can do action movies. People have seen obviously he's athletic enough to do that stuff, but he's also doing like Foxcatcher and shit like that. That's dramatic stuff, man.
dude,
Foxcatcher is a good movie.
I just watched him in a really good movie where he's a rich CEO and this girl is obsessed with him, just works at this restaurant and she knows him because his face is always in the tabloids. And she goes, to work at a restaurant and he comes in and he usually comes in like every now and then and she's like, "Oh my God, he's here." And her boss is like, "Stay away. We know you're obsessed with him." And long story short, she starts flirting with him and him and his rich posse are leaving and he's like, "You want to come with us?" And she's like, "Where?" And he's like, "Does it really matter?" Like being all cocky and she's like,
Oh, I've seen this movie. Yes, I know what
"Okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah." Dude, he's amazing as a bad villain.
He was a very good bad
Griff,
guy.
it turns out they've met like 100 times before, but he keeps giving her this forgetful potion and he brings her to this island and just keeps raping her.
That's horrible.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
He also does like a pretty good bad guy in the movie War Dogs with Miles Teller, and
Oh yeah.
they do like basically military contract bidding.
Yeah. Oh, Jonah Hill's in that too.
He's
Isn't
like
he?
a total
Yeah, yeah.
scumbag in it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like the ringleader of the whole operation and brings Miles Teller on board.
It's
Dude,
been a
I
while
just
since I've seen that,
saw a
but
clip of that movie and it's Jonah Hill and he's in the hood and he's asking these like gangsters a question and they're laughing at him and he goes, "Okay, you're right." Walks back to his car, pops the trunk, and then gets out a huge machine gun and starts firing. And he's like,
Like
"What?
insane,
What?"
like you can't get this at like Bass Pro Shops. You can't get that gun anywhere except for military grade. Like it was like a Browning, dude. He like pulled out an insane machine gun for the and like the whole hood started skirting everywhere.
look,
That scene is crazy.
he's a great actor. I I love his dramatic stuff too, man. I think he's got a lot more range than people ever expected. I think Tatum has a lot more range than we would have guessed. I'm not putting him up there with Denzel as like, hey, he's in discussion as Mount Rushmore of greatest actors ever, but
I think this
he's
type of
bought
role is
himself 10 plus years of stuff, and he could end up being the next, fucking Liam Neeson or something like that. Just a guy who, like, if he keeps in shape, can age into the next action star that is our geriatric action star because we love that fucking genre for some reason. Um, like, I think carved out a fucking nice career out of this movie. I think he owes a ton of his success to this.
Yeah, I think this type of role is perfect for him. He gets to play that like Gronk type of role where it's like you can be like this big lovable idiot.
Yes. Yes.
And like that's something he owned and was able to be like funny with it. Where in like past roles and stuff for him, he's been like a much smaller role usually, and like sometimes like the bad guy just because he's like this good looking dude, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I could definitely see that growth like over time, and who knows how he'll age. I'm sure he's gonna stay in shape and everything, but like I think he would be great in that show on Amazon, Jack Reacher. I think he would be like perfect for that. He could do that action
He
stuff.
could do that kind of stuff for sure. He did. There was a solid movie he was in on Apple TV a couple months back. Him and ScarJo on the NASA race to space.
Apollo or something like that.
Yeah, something
It's like
like
Fly Me to the Moon, maybe.
Fly Me to the Moon. That's it. That's it. Great movie, man. I really enjoyed it. So he's really like carved out a hell of a lane. This movie proves if you just do it well, an action comedy can be brainy and still fucking crush the box office. You have to have the right fit, the right storyline, the editing. It just seems like they gave a shit when they made this movie, and I appreciate that. 22 was pretty damn good. I'm sure that we'll talk about 22 Jump Street on the pod at some point. There was the fake sequel montage at the end of this movie, which is pretty awesome. When's the last time you paid attention to the closing credits?
Never.
Really? Oh, dude, you're missing out on a ton of shit. It's pretty clever.
They go through like Jump Street, like 52 or whatever. Like they get through.
They just keep going. It's kind of like Tropic Thunder, where Tugs
like driving school, like
it's just a bunch of like spin-off ideas. There's talks about a female-led spin-off of 22 and 21.
That would get a little too.
I already know where you're going. Stay out of there. Stay out. Stay away. They would have to figure out a way to do something like that.
You could remake this in any way because it's high school. Like you could remake it with any two.
It just has to be young enough detectives that are willing to go undercover to make it work. But you can also, like, we always have an appetite for cop movies, right? Always.
Yeah.
There's always a crime. We want some justice, or we're rooting for the bad guy because they're super charming. It depends on what the movie is and, whatever. But we love fucking cop movies.
Yeah. I literally only watch cop shows. Documentaries, 48 Hours. I mean,
Dude, I was
you
driving
name it.
behind this car the other day, and they had a live PD sticker on the back of their car.
Oh, hell yeah.
But dude, you could just because we love cop stuff and we love undercover and the idea of doing something that we would never want to have to do, but are so voyeuristic and we're so like, fuck, I would never do that, but I want to watch somebody else do it.
Yeah.
And because we are so like that, you could take this concept and do it anywhere that you think there is a potential crime going on. So it could be in a corporate office, it could be in a school, it could be on a college campus, it could be in a business somewhere or whatever. You can make it whatever you want. It's just undercover cop work. And, what makes this fun is that it's an added element of going back to high school. But dude, this is a sweet movie. What's your score? I you know what? I gotta pull up our Rotten Tomatoes and see that. While I pull that up, why don't you guys go through your
in the comedy realm, I'm gonna go 7.
7 flat. Okay.
I'm gonna go 8-2. I think it's really good, and I think it's aged very well.
I think you're right, Griff. I probably like it the most out of you guys, out of this group. I feel very connected to the high school portions of this. It's just very funny to me.
Because you rocked in high school.
Yeah, you did. You were Channing Tatum.
Hey, check the tape, okay?
Check tape. I did kick ass in high school. I just watched Couples Retreat the other night. It was so good.
It's so good. I give this an 8.5. I love it. I love Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, surprises the shit out of me in this movie. I love watching it. Plus, it's a movie, like, there's probably 10 to 20 of these movies that my wife and I have watched over the years dozens of times together. This is one of them. So there's a personal connection for me because it's a movie that she also finds funny. You know, sometimes your partner doesn't find the same shit funny that you
Yeah,
find
all the
in
time.
movies. So when we find something that we actually both like, it's rare.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And this is one of those movies for me.
Yeah, that's like gold when you find that.
Yeah, that's great, man. So, like, for me, it's an 8.5. There's added elements to that bump it up. But this is a solid, fun, really entertaining movie, man. And I was more than happy to do the fucking research for this and rewatch it and relive it. But with that gives us a score of, with that 8.2, 8.5, 7. What do you think? Average out 7.8, 7.9, somewhere in that realm.
I always go low.
You do go low. You're just a king hater, but that's okay. We need our haters.
Or I go freakishly high.
Or crazy high. You're going to be like, Van Helsing, is there an 11 available?
Yeah, Van
Van
Helsing,
Helsing gets sick, dude.
Underworld.
Yeah,
I just said it
like,
today on the phone. We can be slaves or we can be Lycans.
oh my God. See,
Hey.
this is the problem. See, your our rating scale is skewed. My God. Oh, that's an inside joke. We'll talk about that later. Well, listen, the next movie that I have on our list,
Please be a horror movie.
it's not a horror movie.
Because I feel like we could rip those to shreds, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
Have you ever
imagine.
seen a good one?
Well, I have Bad Boys up next. Being summertime, I love an action comedy. It's just such
I'm a bit of a bad boy myself.
thing. That's a big Michael Mann movie. It's his first big thing. This is Will Smith's coming out party.
No,
Like,
the main character is the chief.
oh my God, Joey Pants.
He's my favorite.
He's the best, dude. I love that guy. So that's what I have next on the list. If you guys are willing to do it. I'm sure
I like
it's
that list.
I'll do it. I also want to throw out there Sinners.
I refuse to watch it out of respect for Josh Allen.
Dude, she
Haley. Be smarter
is
about your role, sweetie.
vulgar in that.
Really?
She literally
haven't
says to Michael B.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil
Okay.
it.
I mean,
Okay.
it's nasty raw.
Okay.
Like, I
Haley
want you
is
to
a naughty
beat this
thing.
kitty.
Okay. Damn.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
I know. Well, it is
I'm
called
judging.
Sinners.
I'm judging right now.
It is called
No.
Sinners.
Dude, I brought it up as we were watching. I was like, yeah, but you know she's married to Josh Allen, right? Like, I just couldn't get it out. I had to say it.
It's every 30-something dude in America right now. Well, boys, that's it for this episode of the Night Shift.
Knock it out.
To the audience, if you like the episode, drop a rating, leave a review, share it with a friend who still quotes Superbad and all these fucking Jonah Hill movies and these fun ass movies that we like to do. We got more deep dives coming. We're gonna do a legacy blockbuster. I'm convinced, boys. We're gonna do Bad Boys, and we're gonna do Bad Boys next weekend. We just had Father's Day. Hope you guys had a great Father's Day. We got the 4th coming up, guys. America's freaking coming back. How about that? How about that? Again, we're coming back again.
What year is this for us?
I don't know. We just keep coming
I
back.
think it's almost 350 years.
I think it'd be 100 years less.
250.
I think you're talking 250 is what you mean. 250 would be, man, we'll be dead by then.
$249.
Maybe not with the advances in modern science, our high level incomes.
And the night shift is clocking out.
High level income.
Oh my
I
God.
love
All right.
that.
Drug trips under control, people. As always. We love you.
Wait,